We all know Chael Sonnen is good friends with Colby Covington, and we also know that Colby Covington is bitter enemies with Jorge Masvidal, maybe the most deep-rooted rivalry in UFC history given their backstory. Now fast forward to November of 2023, Chael Sonnen makes an appearance on Ariel Helwani's show, The MMA Hour, and they really get into it about things like Francis Ngannou's boxing venture, and even Ariel's obvious disdain for the UFC since the time they banned him from all events for life.
That's a weasel move. That's a weasel move.
You're disgusting.
That's a weasel move. I'll stand here. You're trying to leave.
Weasel.
Just days after the heated argument between Ariel and Chael, Jorge Masvidal appeared on Ariel's show, The MMA Hour himself. Masvidal gave his take on the argument and goes absolutely off on Chael.
Chael's a bitch. I mean, he knows it himself. That's the dirtiest fighter they've ever lived. He got popped with like 9 substances, still couldn't win the title. You know that guy's sore.
This led to a Twitter war between Chael Sonnen and Jorge Masvidal, or better yet, a one-sided obliteration from Chael Sonnen. But I mean, Chael might be the best trash talker in the history of MMA, so it's to be expected. And just because we got time, let's read some of those tweets from Chael to Masvidal because they were quite hilarious. Jorge, if you want to scrap, you have to beat one of my students first. Colby Cov, scratch that. Let's stick to things that are possible. Are you allowed to kick with the leg that's wearing the house arrest ankle monitor? Masvidal, I do want some. Just trying to be clear on a few regulatory matters. Is your corner going to give you a prison juice box instead of water? George, can you travel out of state without air marshals shackling you to a hand dolly like Hannibal Lecter? Did you go to a Miami car shop to have them pull the dent Kamaru Usman put in your face out? On a related note, shouldn't they have just replaced your entire face? So Chael fires off a bunch of tweets at Masvidal, and Masvidal finally goes on to respond saying, "You juicehead, I bet you won't say this stuff in person," at Chael Sonnen. "Just keep the same energy when you see me." After this brief Twitter exchange, Chael actually goes on to make a video about how much he admired Jorge Masvidal and that he never spoke a bad word about him. And because of that, Chael says he was surprised at Masvidal's harsh words about him on Ariel's show. But he concluded by saying that he's not the one to be messed with, and if Masvidal presses him like he talked about, then he's definitely not going to back down.
If I do see you out of this, I'm not going to come up and look for trouble. But if you come up to me, I'm not that guy.
What would ensue after this is just months of shots and trash talk between Chael and Jorge, really a lot of just them talking bad about each other on interviews and podcasts. So now fast forward several months of bad blood between these two, and here's where it gets interesting. I open up Twitter one day, or X, and I see a boxing match announced between Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. I thought it was a joke at first, so I type it into Google and see headlines of it everywhere, which threw me off because it seemed like Anderson Silva was set to box actor Terry Crews, which is even stranger than the Chael fight. But I guess that fell through, and now Chael versus Anderson is happening.
Oh, Anderson, yoo-hoo. It's me again. See you June 15th.
A few things come to mind regarding this boxing match. Number one, Chael has been happily retired for several years now and never hinted at a return to fighting. Number two, Chael's specialty has always been wrestling and never striking. All of his success against Anderson Silva when they fought in the UFC years ago was predicated on his threat of the takedown. That's what opened up some of the strikes he was able to land on Anderson. And number three, why? Why now? What's the motivation? Well, here's where this whole thing ties back together. Chael officially addressed the boxing match with Anderson Silva on his ESPN MMA show with Daniel Cormier. Chael revealed that the end goal in this boxing experiment is a fight with Jorge Masvidal in October that seems to already be in talks.
If we're just letting all the secrets out, I got this thing coming up with Jorge Masvidal in October of this year. And that thing's been coming up ever since ESPN sequestered me in Miami at $2.99 to try to protect me from Jorge Masvidal. Like, there was nothing that really hurt my ego more than me being the one that was being locked down.
That's why he's taking this warm-up fight in the first place against Anderson Silva, or at least a warm-up in his mind, because I really do see Anderson beating him. But Chael also went on to reveal that the fight with Silva will only be 4 rounds with 14-ounce gloves, essentially a fight to prepare Chael for Jorge Masvidal. And when he does fight Masvidal, Chael said that it will be 8 rounds with the regular-sized gloves. So again, clearly just a warm-up for Masvidal, and Masvidal, who by the way is set to box Nate Diaz this summer. So it seems like the plan is for Chael Sonnen to get past his fight with Anderson Silva and Jorge Masvidal to get past his fight with Nate Diaz, ultimately leading to a grudge match between Chael and Jorge, a boxing match that can put an end to this feud once and for all. Chael is certainly still bigger than Masvidal these days, but Masvidal is certainly the far better boxer, at least from what we've seen anyway. But who do you guys have winning this potential boxing match on the horizon? And what do you think about Chael Sonnen's beef with Jorge Masvidal? If you enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you like and subscribe, as it does help out the channel more than you think. Thanks for watching.